Would you ever think a French progressive rock group formed by two Vietnamese people could have a hit? Well, Phong somehow managed to do that, without playing a single concert at the time. Tay Sin and Can Mai began their careers in the late 60s playing together in a band called the Monsoons. They played a few gigs all over France, but failed to gain any major recognition. It is unclear if it was because their setlist only comprised covers of overplayed instrumental rock bands, The Shadows for example, or that they were actually really bad at performing in front of an audience. Anyhow, one day they decided to create something original. With the help of a sweet ballad lover and singer-songwriter Jean-Jacques Goldman, a 17-year-old drummer Steven Casserier, and a Prague keyboard mastermind Jean-Alain Gardet, they incepted a band which the brothers named Phong, meaning typhoon in Vietnamese. In 1973 they were ready to record their debut album. The record was released by Warner Brothers in 1974. Shortly thereafter they put out a single and surprisingly enough, the great Phong made it to the charts. The song was called Sister Jane and it was a breakup ballad. With that out of the way, it's about time to reveal our special mascot. Behold, Mr. Proggy Prog! And yes, he's a talking charisma record.
Hello!
So, let's talk about the album. The first thing that comes to mind is that the melodies are way simpler than, say, in other prog records of that era, which makes the songs more memorable. They have this eastern feel that blends sweet and safe with the feeling of adventure, often going out of key to dramatize the mood. However, in some parts they're a tad too sweet and too safe.
Good point. For instance, in For Years and Years, the main lead line oozes sweetness so much it gets a little boring. Well, thankfully in the latter part, they switched for a 100% prog explosion of sounds, which I absolutely love.
Oh yeah, that part's cool. And you pointed out an interesting idea that reappears a bunch of times throughout the whole album. Hills and valleys. First so cutesy, and goes to dark, and all birds and butterflies again. I really dig the concept, though the band didn't do too much with it.
Oh yes, aside from For Years and Years, Out of the Night, and Fields of Gold, the songs go their way without any extra movement, really.
Another great thing is the fact that all three of the vocalists have their moments and show off what they're best at. Most notably, Tay Sin in Fields of Gold has a mellow falsetto line, Can Mai gives us a vibrato heavy vocal part with lots of emotion in Out of the Night, and Jean-Jacques Goldman sings very high in Sister Jane. They all complement each other and it's a really fun effect.
The same can be said about the instrumental parts, and there's such a variety of instruments, string machines, pianos, organs, all these guitar tones by Can Mai. The production fleshes everything out as it should and doesn't distract you from the experience.
Yeah, so musically you can't complain about anything. If I had to nitpick, it would only be minor production issues like the thin drum sound. But that was a 70s thing, not just this particular album. Now, let's delve into the bad stuff, the lyrics, and man are they bad. Most of the lyrical content is just bland love-themed bull I hate, and executed in the simplest, most unimaginative way possible. But they're written by a guy who couldn't speak either English or French very well, so...
we're gonna take it for granted.
Exactly. Phong put a ton of effort to have another hit single with no success whatsoever. Their second album, called Windows, and a non-album single, Dance, tried to copy the style and sound of the first album so much they came off as a cheap cash-in. In 1978, Tay Sin left the group. The band's final album, Last Flight, is pretty much as bad as the artwork, and I don't even want to bring up the reunion garbage of the 2000s. Let's pretend this stuff doesn't exist. Long story short, Can is still active and uses the Phong logo to promote lame songs. End of story. If you're looking for a balanced meal that combines the prog rocky side of music with lighter, more chilled sounds without caring much about the lyrics, go for Phong.